There are three core decisions that you make every single moment of your life that controls your destiny. These three decisions determine what you'll notice, how you'll feel, what you'll do, and ultimately what you'll contribute and who you become. So if you don't control these three decisions, you'll simply aren't in control of your life. So when you do control them, you begin to sculpt your life experience. What is up, my dear friends, and welcome back to another episode of Honey, I Am Home. Today is a little bit of a late episode because, to be honest with you, it has been a rough week for me. I am just going to be real with you, authentic, because those are some of my core quality values of just being transparent with each and every single heart, mind, and soul that listens to this podcast. And this week I've been a little under the weather. My anxiety has been high, my stress has been high, and it's just been a little rocky. And with that, I think, it stems from I've been having a little bit of neck pain. And so this week I went to the ear, nose, and throat specialist to get my neck looked at because there was something in my throat that I felt like was bothering me for a while. So I was like, okay, well, this isn't good. This isn't going away. I didn't feel like a sore throat. And so I went to this ear, nose, and throat specialist, and he couldn't find anything. But then I went on, and because I was talking to my wife about it, and she's like, well, you do always have this cough, because I do have a cough that I've had for about 3 years now. It's not like vigorous, but it does come at me at a different time. Usually just I still cough throughout the day a little bit here and there. So I told this doctor that I had this cough, and he's like, hey, maybe you should go get a chest x-ray. So I had a chest x-ray this week, and it came back. I have to wait to hear back from the doctors, probably sometime tomorrow. But ultimately, it sounds like my bronchial tubes are thickening, and I don't know if that means I'm unsure if that means they're thickening and it's irreversible, or if they're thickening because there's mucus and whatnot, so on and so forth. So I'm just not feeling very good. I'm not, feeling myself. But that shouldn't stop you from doing what you're called to do in life. And, that's just a message to myself. I usually release these episodes every Thursday, but Thursday I wasn't feeling very good. I wasn't feeling good Wednesday. I didn't feel like I had the energy to speak. And what I've realized, the reason why I felt so fatigued is because when I did talk to a doctor that I know personally, I texted him and he said, yeah, if you're having these thickening bronchial tubes, I think I'm saying that right, but they're your tubes in your lung that can get filled with mucus and whatnot. You might not be able to breathe as deeply, and you might not be able to feel as energized, and definitely I feel more fatigued, more tired, but I think I am healing, but I'm excited to hear back from my doctor tomorrow sometime on Monday to kind of pick her brain to hear what she has to say. And that means also that I'm going to take another test on Friday. It's called a PFT test. It's called pulmonary function test, which will test out my lungs to make sure that they're strong and, making sure that they're healthy and they're intaking enough oxygen to not make me feel so fatigued, or if my asthma might have came back, because I used to have severe asthma as a kid. And there's just a lot, And on top of all of that, of my own personal health journey of whatever currently is going on, one of my dear friends lost their dad unexpectedly over the week. And so that's been challenging for my family and myself. And so tomorrow I'm taking a day of grievance. I have a funeral to go to. I went to the viewing today, and it's just a lot. And I want to open up this conversation because I just want to let you guys know that life isn't always sunshine and rainbows, But I think that goes into today's core message, like the very three decisions that I make every moment of my life that I know control my destiny. And a destiny is another word for a future. Sometimes in life we go through experiences. We have ups and downs, and I wouldn't technically say this is a complete down for me. We all get a little sick. We all feel a little under the weather. But when it comes to my breathing, and when it comes to my lungs, and when it comes to certain things of that nature, it does give me a little stress and anxiety, because I remember what it was like growing up with severe asthma, where I'd have multiple asthma attacks throughout the month, and just just losing your breath is a scary moment, and I just don't want anything to happen to, breath. So, and that's why I also meditate and take meditation very seriously, because I can enjoy breath of fresh air. You don't know how much you enjoy breathing until you can't. I know that sounds kind of funny, but ultimately, when we go through these journeys in life where we lose loved ones, where we lose a little bit of a health, where we have a little bit of a life scare, where we're feeling stressed and overwhelmed due to financial stress and chaos, and maybe life just seems to be kicking you in the back of the knee, just taking you out left and right. The list can go on, and it's very important for us to continue to ground ourselves into the character and into the person that we just genuinely know that we are or want to be. So when I know that we as human beings go through these moments of our downfalls and turmoils, many of us find ourselves, when we are in the downfall, to really bury ourselves. So realistically, I think, my health hiccup is only a trip, right? And I just tripped over like a stone, and have a little bit of chest issues right now, where my chest feels tight, and I have a little bit of a cough, and I feel fatigued and tired, and that's okay. My wife is allowing me to rest up and take, I've been laying on the couch and laying in bed and reading and praying and watching some TV, and really not doing anything, not posting a lot on social media, and just taking some time for me, because I don't want to overdo this, and I want to make sure that I have my health so I can make sure that I take care of those who actively listen to me on a weekly and monthly basis. So if you're here, thank you for being here. And, if I don't give it a lot of energy, that's wise, because I am still feeling very fatigued. But ultimately, I want to talk to you about the 3 decisions that I make in my life anytime that I, go through a difficult time in my life, right? So when things just seem like they're getting tough and life's just throwing rocks at you and you're just getting beat up, and, it's one thing after the next, you lose somebody, you lose a friend, you lose the loved one, you lose yourself, you lose your health, whatever it is, your car broke down, your hot water tank goes, life just genuinely just throws stuff at you, right? Well, here's kind of what I've done in my life to help me advance through those difficult moments in my life, so that those difficult moments in my life don't completely consume me, so that the death of someone that we love and care about doesn't wreck me mentally and emotionally, so that when my health is limited, I don't feel like the health is the only thing that's important to me. Every time I lose something, I try to reestablish greater grounding to, if I lose my health, do I believe I can still be happy? If I lose my friends, or if I lose someone I love, can I still be happy? And you know what? I know that I can, and I know that I will, because I must. Life continues on, but life can continue on in a negative manner or a more enjoyable manner after we experience the difficulties. And right now I would say, I'm going through a little bit of a difficult time, and that's okay. That's part of my journey. We're getting better and we're improving, but let me talk about the 3 decisions that I try to control, so that my destiny or my future, my tomorrow, my next day, my next week, my next month is a little bit better than this very moment. So when you think about decisions oftentimes shape your future. And your decision about what it is that you're going to focus on in every moment is what controls your future. Think about it. Number 1 is all about your decisions about what to focus on is oftentimes what controls your future. So anytime that I am going through a negative experience, I allow myself to sit back and see both the light and both the dark, both the good, both the bad. And oftentimes many of us get trapped in only seeking out the bad because we're experiencing the bad in the very moment. So it's hard to see past that. But it's like, well, after we lost a dear friend of ours, I was talking to my wife and I was like, you know what, honey, I think that's a part of life. Life is about death too. You got to look for the light in every moment. And what you focus on is what controls how you feel and what you think about. And so it's like, could I think about the worst case scenario and what's going on with my chest and my lungs right now? Sure, I could. But what good does that do for me? It doesn't make me feel any better today. So if my health were gone tomorrow, would that stop me from enjoying life today? Well, probably hinder it a little bit, but ultimately what we focus on, we attract, right? What we focus on is what drives us toward a greater quality of life or a very poor quality of life. And so I asked myself, what is it that I want to focus on in this very moment? Especially in the moments that I don't feel like life's going according to my own personal plan, right? When you go through difficult times, like I said, it's easy to highlight the difficult moment and to live in that and to think on it and to think of everything bad and all of the crazy stories that typically never come true. But what I challenge myself to do, and what I suggest you challenge yourself to do, is ask yourself, what should I actually be focusing on that could help me feel better in this very moment? What could I be focusing on that could help me feel better in this moment? Well, there's 100 things, and it's time for you to list out those 100 things. Number one, I have great doctors. Number two, there's always life after death. Number three, I am above ground. Number four, there's just a list of things that you could really come up with. And I just challenge you to just make a decision to choose on something more positive than more negative. I know that sounds simple, but let me tell you, it becomes very hard when you feel like life's throwing a bunch of rocks at you. So don't overlook this and don't downplay it, because ultimately when you try to get yourself out of a negative mindset or heart set, when you are feeling just like everything's just against you right now and you're losing people, you're losing finances, you're losing in life, it's hard for you to shake yourself out of that mindset because you're staying stuck in the experience of that very moment, and you're not allowing yourself to focus on something greater in that moment than what is currently going on, which could be kind of bad. Okay? Number two, your decisions about what things mean to you. I oftentimes, tell my clients or just individuals in general that I talk to is that don't over exaggerate your story. Your decisions about what things mean to you is the story that you tell yourself about what they mean. And oftentimes we write a very disempowering and negative story. For example, this moment where my chest feels tight, I want to cough right now, and I feel like I'm losing more energy as I continue to speak. What I'll write to this is that, this is a really good moment in my life, not because I feel like, fatigued, I feel drained, I feel tired, I feel a little nervous, I feel, a little anxious because I don't want something to be wrong with my body. But let me tell you the other story that could be true. The other story I could focus on is this simple one. It's that, thank you, God, for this very moment that I get to just relax and to take care of myself, to be able to just spend time inside my home, to appreciate the warmth or the chill of my home. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to just relax with my wife and my dog and just not have to worry about anything business, anything professionally, anything relationally, just allow myself to be. Sometimes when you're sick, it gives you a good moment to be able to slow down, to speed up, just to reflect, just to rest. Because in this day and age, we hardly ever rest. And what's been really nice is when I'm laying in bed or laying on my couch and watching TV. Usually when I'm watching TV, I also hold my phone in my hand and I'm scrolling through social media, or I'm thinking about the next quote that I want to write, the next thing I want to say, or the next person I want to impact, or, the next business opportunity that I want to pursue, or the next, career advancement that I'm trying to chase. Whatever it is, I'm never there in the moment just watching a good show. Right now, my wife and I are watching a show called The Middle. It came out in 2009. It's a fun little family show, just kind of for background noise. But what I've enjoyed doing is just sitting there and watching it. Have you ever just sat back and just allowed yourself to watch something without being distracted on your phone? It's been a while. It's been a while for me. And I just want to say, ultimately, in those very moments, just allowing myself to put my phone down and escape from the digital world, to allow myself to just tune into my own body while I'm enjoying a TV show. It's more peaceful. And ultimately what I'm saying is your decision about what things mean to you can either deter you or it could enhance you to get to where you want to go. And I'm going to read this moment where my health is a little bit weaker than normal. It's a moment where I am able to just rest, recover, find silence and peace, be okay with what is, and be thankful for what I have. And that helps me to get through moments like these. And the last decision here, my dear friend, is your decision about what to do to create the results you desire. You see, when we go through difficult times, we often lose sight of what it is that we want. So anytime that I'm struggling, for example, let's just use my health again. I know that I'm struggling with my health for the reason that my chest is a little tight. I feel a little winded. And there's moments where I feel like I'm really fatigued. Well, in those moments where I experience that, I make a decision about what to do to create the result that I really desire. Well, I want health and happiness, so what do? I don't go grab a bag of bad food. I make sure that I drink some lemon water. I make sure that I just thank my body for its natural ability to heal. I make sure that I'm focusing on the outcome that I want and to feel that outcome in that very moment. So act as if I'm already healthy, feeling vibrant, alive, loving, fulfilled, energized, and ready to take on the day. When I allow myself to feel that, my body feels better. When I just say thank you for this very moment to rest and relax, but yet look forward to a hope-filled future, a future that I would like to have in this very moment of my illness, which is, like I said, not even a super big illness. It's just a little bit of uncomfortability that I'm currently going through, and I don't even know if it's bronchitis yet. It could be, I don't know. But ultimately, what I'm experiencing is, symptoms of fatigue and symptoms of where I'm winded and I have to catch my breath, and where I feel like my chest is tight. And so in those moments, I try to envision, like, how would I feel if I had the perfect health that I've always wanted? How would I feel if I was standing in a body that was 10 pounds less? How would I feel if I ate more healthy foods? How would I feel if I started to not wake up so tired? How would I feel if I didn't have to just live off of another cup of coffee? How would I feel? Sometimes when we go through difficult lifetimes, my friends, when we go through those moments of difficulty in our lives, it's just a moment to allow ourselves to see the goodness in our own lives. It's not to highlight what is wrong, but it's to highlight what is good. It's to allow yourself, in order to see what you've always had that has always been there, you must sometimes see what is no longer there. The purpose of the darkness is so that you can reflect and see the light. To remind yourself that, you know what, life was pretty good. I just chose to not make it that good. So just begin to think, when you go through a difficult time in life, understand that it's your decision about what to focus on, what things mean to you, and what you're going to do about them that will determine your ultimate future. Know that if anyone is enjoying greater success or happiness than you in any area of their life, they're making these 3 decisions differently from you in some context or situation. You got to understand that you determine your outcome by understanding that you have to make a decision about what you're going to focus on. You're going to focus on the positive or the negative. And then you're going to decide, well, what does this actually mean to me? Am I going to make it a positive story or a negative story? And then what am I going to create out of this? Is it going to be a hope-filled future, or is it going to be one that is going to break me and cost me my health, my happiness, and my money? My dear friends, I don't know what you're currently going through today. I don't know how good or how bad you feel like you have it. Either or, we all make decisions, and our decisions dictate where we go and what we do with our life. And I want you to begin to understand that life isn't always going to work out in our manner. But that doesn't mean that in those moments where it doesn't work out in your manner, that you're not going to be called to evaluate and elevate your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit, your emotions. In this very moment, I'm being asked to elevate. I'm being asked to improve. I'm being asked to move my life forward in a healthier manner. so that I have more energy, more love, more light, more strength to help others through the most difficult times of their life, when they feel like they've either lost themselves or lost someone they love. My dear friends, I hope that you found this podcast helpful, supportive, encouraging, and or uplifting. And if you did, please share it out with 1, 2, or 3 of your friends. And be sure to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to the podcast at, because that's what helps this podcast reach more hearts and more homes and helps more lives transform into greater happiness, love, abundance, and fulfillment. And it is my mission to help you to lead a happier heart so that you can lead a happier home and live in a happier life. My dear friends, my name is Tylerjoestratton, and this is Honey, I'm Home.